Mm.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to season 2 of the Stephanie Stevens Show and Pronoun TV. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel and helping us, educate and inspire our communities and other communities that might not understand what we're all about. And now that we're all talking, this is an amazing thing. We are now going to be able to understand each other I think a little bit better because so many people are on the internet and all over the world, we're talking now. And this is a great thing. So today on the show, I decided to invite Miss Gia Bathory to my show. She is sort of like a spiritual leader. She has this crusade of just a different way of looking at things from the LGBT two-spirit pronoun community. I saw a lot of her stuff I thought would be quite interesting that we should mention. I watched a lot of the videos and she was doing certain spiritual dances and then also the Vampire Diaries kind of a spirituality thing. Also, I saw that she is an arch priestess, actress, and author of quite a few different books. And I was intrigued by this. And I thought, how does this play into our community? How does this play in the sense of just being yourself? So I want to say welcome, Gia Bathory.
Bathory is fine, whichever.
Okay, well, welcome to the show and season 2 of Pronoun TV and the Stephanie Stevens Show. Thank you and welcome. I hope I said some of this stuff right. My agent, she wrote down all this stuff and sent it to me for me to sort of caption to try to, so we could understand what your life is all about. But there was so much. So I was trying to put it in together the way she was saying it here, and I think we'll get the full story, and we'll hear it from you as we go along. So, where are you actually living?
I currently live in Western Kentucky at the third incarnation of the Temple of Great Mother.
Okay, now Kentucky's known for the Kentucky Derby. Have you ever been?
I have. I actually started out as a milliner. I was a hat maker. I attended a school called Fleur de Paris in New Orleans, which was started by Coco Chanel and founded by her. And one of my passions was hat making, so I made a lot of derby hats.
Well, that is I'm gonna be honest because I'm from the States. I'm from Orlando, but I've been living in Canada 33 years, and I always look forward to the Kentucky Derby because of the hats and the grandeur of it all. I could care less about horses racing and all that. It was all about the pomp and pageantry of the Kentucky Derby. So I want to just talk to you a little bit about, first, let's clear this so this way it's out, because she always, my agent, she has a way of correcting me every time. Your pronouns, what are your pronouns?
I use feminine pronouns. Identification-wise, I identify as a serpent, but female pronouns are fine.
Okay, wonderful. Now, let's talk about what you do. What is it that you actually do on a day-to-day that inspires you, and also you earn money? And what is it that you do? Is this I'll let you explain it. And then this way, because all this stuff that she wrote here, I think it's better for you to explain it, and then I'll get into the questions she put here.
Okay. Well, I do a lot of things. I started out as a cabaret and burlesque entertainer back in the early 90s. And then I started getting into belly dancing, and I did that for about 17 years. As far as what pays my bills, I run a PR company that does marketing and PR artist management for mostly fashion designers, musicians, photographers, people like that need sort of industry representation in order to keep their work safe and to keep their best interests represented.
Okay.
I run the temple currently, the Temple of Great Mother. We are the only traditional pagan temple in America. And I would say the best way to describe what we do is we teach people to find who they are, to hone it to perfection, and to find both internal and external balance within and outside of the world.
Okay, so in terms of us regular people, I will say, what does that mean? Can you just sum it up? What does that mean to just normal people seeking your service?
Okay, to normal people seeking my service, that would mean that one of our priestesses here at the temple can handle just about anything that's wrong in your life. If you need counseling, if you know, not licensed counseling, obviously, but if you need counsel, spiritually speaking, or with your personal life, one of us is here to help you. We're here to direct and guide people through the different aspects of their life: births, deaths, marriages, funerals, just like any other religious organization. On a day-to-day basis, we hold classes, we educate young pagans on pagan history as well as the future of paganism. And we hold a lot of events generally every week. We do sewing, weaving. We even have a Dungeons and Dragons night that we do on Wednesday nights that has been going on for 2 years straight.
Mm-hmm. Now, is your company recognized by the government?
Yes, we are recognized by the U.S. government. My paperwork first went through around 2013 was when we first started officially doing everything instead of just being a small group of people.
Okay, are you seeing any success from what you're doing?
Absolutely, tremendous success, especially in our local area. We've paved the way for so many pagans to find their own voice and a sanctuary here at the temple, and that for us, for pagans, regardless of their tradition or path, that is, it's beyond necessary. It's essential for what we do. The temple is the beating heart of our spiritual belief itself.
Okay, now I want to ask this question because she wrote it here. What does pagan actually mean? I mean, most people can probably Google it and figure it out, but we want to understand, what is it you consider yourself a pagan? What is it? What is the definition for yourself?
Pagan is a general definition. It's very much a broad, it's like saying LGBTQIA. It's pretty much everybody that's not a straight white Christian, you know, and a Republican. It's pretty much all the rest of the world. Paganism is a blanket term that describes any form of traditional polytheism, meaning the worship of multiple gods, goddesses, deities, or demigods.
Okay, now, so do you guys actually, you know, I know the big gay bar there in Lexington, Lexington, called The Connection.
Oh yeah.
So, also, so do you perform there?
No, not for many years. I performed at Connections, I think around like 2005, somewhere around there. But no, I usually only do performances these days for charity events or specific events that friends of mine host, and we do events here, actually in the room that I'm in right now. We do performances and shows in here on a regular basis for all of our temple events.
Okay, so it's not necessarily drag, is it?
It is everything. We have drag kings, we have drag queens, we have just generally non-binary creatures. We have belly dancers, we have burlesque, we have comedy, you name it, we do it. The show is
so basically fantasy and illusion.
Fantasy what?
Fantasy and illusion.
Absolutely.
Okay, now I want to ask you something that you said before about the oh my God, it slipped right out of my mind. I'll go right to the next question. It slipped, it was something really, it'll come back to me.
Okay, we'll be here when it does.
Now, I want to talk about the connection for just a minute.
Okay.
Did you ever frequent the bar?
No, I did frequent the one in Nashville though, under the safety wings of Miss Calpurnia Adams,
Okay.
many years ago.
The reason I'm asking about the connection bar is because I wanted to know if you knew of a transsexual that was murdered by an army man there that made national news. Now, I don't. The show today is not about trans murders. We've done that several times. We've talked about it, brought lots of awareness to that. But what I wanted to talk about with that was it made a real difference in your community. It made it safer. I noticed that when the girl actually had the courage to see it all the way through, when they murdered the man that she loved. And I found that quite interesting. I wanted to bring that up to you because I thought that you would know a little bit of the history about it, because I remember the show very vividly in my mind, that I thought it was an amazing thing that this trans woman stood up for the man that she loved that was murdered. And she saw the case to the end. Now, I saw a couple of videos of yours that I couldn't quite figure out.
Okay.
I want to just, when she
said, involve rabbits?
Huh?
Did they involve rabbits?
No, I don't know if it was, I don't think it was, it could have been you, but I saw a male in the mirror with reddish hair doing a trick with a string or something.
Oh, that is, I don't know why that is still attached to me. That is a guy that back when I used to do the vampire balls, that was one of the guys that we hired, and he was a magician. And he used to tag me in all of these videos. I met him once, maybe twice. I think his name was Donovan or Damien or something like that.
The reason I asked is, I mean, no offense, is I couldn't, she said to me here, because we thought it was you as a male. We thought it was you as a male. We couldn't figure it out. Why would you have this on your page? And
no, that's not me, obviously. No, totally not me.
Well, we thought, okay, because you know, when the girls start transitioning, they look a lot different.
No, I transitioned in a time before digital cameras.
Oh, okay. Now, let's talk about the Vampire Diaries. Now, you know, it's been a cult, cult, just.
It is very much a cult.
Yeah, for decades. Now, even with Interview with a Vampire and Twilight sagas and all of that stuff, do you actually believe in vampires?
I believe that there are many kinds of creatures that walk the world that have been forgotten. We get so caught up in the internet and television and Snapchat and computers and even things like electricity that we forget that the world hasn't really changed that much in the past 2,000 years. I don't believe there are people who turn into bats and combust into flames in sunlight. No, absolutely not. But are there parasitic creatures that feed off of the energy of other people? Absolutely.
Well, I understand the energy part, but have you actually ever seen someone actually, you know, bite somebody and draw blood? And
yes, I have. Yes, I have.
And they live like this?
Yes, they do.
So, what did you think? The reason I'm asking this is because you wrote all this stuff down here.
What did I think? I thought it's none of my business. That's what I thought.
Oh, okay.
I was like, nope, none of my business. We will not be featuring that.
So you are running this this spiritual temple,
Mhm.
and this is how you're making money by helping others understand who they are, just be themselves. And you are, what is your main goal from all of this? What do you want to see happen? Is this going to get bigger? I mean, just hosting parties and talking.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Much bigger.
Okay.
Sorry,
So-
we just had package delivery come into the front door. Sorry.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because when we have these groups and we have these platforms and we want to help across the world, and I think what caught my attention was the fact of the vampire thing, but my agent wanted me to focus on the spiritual part and the programs that you offer, so that way the LGBT community can understand, you know, what it is that you actually do.
To best answer your question, I can give you a very good example for comparison. Are you familiar with American Horror Story?
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch Coven?
Yes, I saw the thing with Lady Gaga and Joan Collins. The one-
No, that was Hotel. The one with Jessica Lange, the one with the witches.
Oh, I saw that. That was near the beginning.
Yes, that was the third
Yes,
season.
I saw that.
You can very much think of me as a Fiona Good, and this as Miss Robichaud's Academy.
Oh, okay. Interesting. That's probably why this caught my attention, because I did watch the first few episodes of that, and then I watched on Netflix the kickoff of, I mean, a spinoff of that. I can't remember. Miss Nurse Ratched was very similar.
Oh, Nurse Ratched with Sarah Paulson.
Yes, it was very similar to, in a sense. Okay, so now, where do you guys do anything for the LGBT Two-Spirit pronoun community there? Are you involved in any way? Do you do shows in Pride or anything like that?
Yep. I perform at almost every Pride that's been here over the past, I'd say 10, 15 years. I do a lot of, there are a lot of LGBTQI places here that do events that specifically benefit the LGBTQI community in some way, shape, or form. And those are usually what I do. The temple itself, we attend those things. We help when things are needed with that. I often will help them produce the events, or we will provide them with entertainers, or in some cases, we will just provide them with a large amount of crowd to come and do so. We oftentimes, more than anything, are very much involved in local and national politics in the sense of activism during the Black Lives Matter movement and the marches and protests for the life and the murder of George Floyd. The temple went and made its presence known at those protests. We were very vocal about it. We were forefront in it, mainly because we see what happened to him not as part of our community, because that's not who we are. That's your community, not ours. But we see a kindred spirit in the suffering of the entire community of people of color, especially LGBTQI people of color, and the nightmares that they've gone through. We can see a kindred spirit in that oppression, in that suffering, and in that awakening that's currently going on, saying we will not tolerate this anymore. And if we have to do some things that are a little untoward in order to get change made, well, you know, No change was ever made over a dinner table. It was always over a battlefield.
Well, we know things have definitely changed now, and
Thankfully.
they will never go back to the way they used to be. And the next 10, 15 years is going to be quite interesting, mainly for the young people. I think we're going to all be in for a rude awakening. But I want to ask you this. Are you in a relationship?
I am.
Okay, because the reason I say that is because I can tell that you're comfortable with yourself and you're happy. So
Mhm.
I can sense that, and that is an amazing thing. And it's good that the girls out there that are trans or non-binary or whatever pronoun that they are, they can see a person like yourself comfortable in their own skin, and you talk very well. And the fact that you're doing something that's a little strange that most people wouldn't think trans women or non-binary or whatever the pronoun is would be involved in and doing. Usually we have a straight platform that says, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. But the fact of, I like the fact of the spirituality, the spiritual crusade here. She also asked me to ask you, have you been well, you wrote the books, right?
Have I what?
You was an author of some books.
Yes.
Can you tell us the name of some of them?
The first book is The Trouble with the Pears, and it is a historical fiction that sort of objectively looks at 16th century Eastern European aristocracy.
Okay.
The second book is a collection of poems that I wrote that are terribly depressing. Absolutely horribly depressing book. My third book.
There? We can see the cover. You have any in front of you? We can see the cover.
No,
Okay.
because I actually don't. My copies of the book are currently being borrowed by my friend's sister.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Oh no, wait, I don't. I'm sorry. No, I don't have them currently. If you go on my Facebook, there are pictures of the covers.
Okay. Now,
second one is Eyes of the Abyss, and the third one is Bacchanal.
Oh, okay. Now, have you been in any movies?
Yes, I have.
Oh, any we might know?
Quite possibly.
Oh.
I've been in a lot of like art films and very underground, independent kind of stuff, but mainstream wise, I was in 2009. I was in H.P. Lovecraft's Beyond the Wall of Sleep, where I got to work with horror legend Stacy Dixon, and Lloyd Kaufman, as well as several people that are still friends to this day. And then in 2018, we started filming Vivian, which was a biographical film about the actress Vivian Lee.
Now, I want to ask you about I saw a fashion show. Was that you in the fashion show?
Yes, that was my fashion line that I had. That was for Allure magazine.
Oh, okay. And are you still doing that?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you're still creating that. Okay. Now, what I found interesting, the reason I asked this is because being an entertainer myself, I can do a one-woman show for 2 hours without a thinking, and somebody helping me change costumes, this and that. But when I saw you performing, I thought to myself, and you don't have to answer. I mean, in return, we can just skip it. But I didn't see anything that showed me what you really do on the stage. You did a 10, most of the clips were 10 seconds or a blip, a bop in and a bop out. And you say you've been doing this for 2 years. You would think, because
I've been doing cabaret for 20 years.
But the reason I'm saying this is because it would have been easier for me to watch your videos and get the story. You know what I mean? Instead of me having to her to write me all this stuff here for me to try to understand, to put it together. Now,
Uh-huh.
the reason I'm asking about the entertainment factor is because wouldn't it have been easier to show your program and the people in your program performing and stuff like this here that would educate others and show them what you do that would entice other people because they would see people actually participating instead of you just doing a 10-second video of you belly dancing and that's it.
I'm not sure what you're talking about when you say a 10-second video.
Well, there's a
There
couple of
are,
videos.
there's around, I think,
It's
100
in your video, it's in your video archive. When you click on your videos on your Facebook page, when you click on your
Oh,
video.
no, none of them are on Facebook. They're all on YouTube.
Oh, well, the one she sent me the clip of was you belly dancing.
There's
Well,
a lot of videos. I'm not sure
Okay.
which one. It may have been the promotional video for the Zodiac Films documentary. That's probably what you're talking about.
Okay, can I ask one more question? I ask one more question. We're almost done here.
Okay.
I want to talk about the wedding ceremony that I saw in the video. Is that you?
Yes.
Okay, because you had dark hair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, are you still married with the same person?
No.
Okay. Now, the reason I ask that is because the same-sex marriage is a big thing now.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that civil unions are being recognized around the world. And when I watched the video, I was so touched by the fact that it seemed like it was a small town. You had a small group of people that you could see that it looked really special because when you think about small towns and you think about these type of weddings, because looking at you, I would never know you were born male.
I was actually born intersex.
Okay, and I would never know that from looking at you, because when she wrote the caption here, for me to do, I couldn't tell were you a man or a woman or non-binary, whatever the pronoun was. I couldn't, and I figured it's better for you to just tell us. So I'm glad that you explained that to us. But I thought the wedding was very touching and very real. And this is something that we don't see a lot of, because our community is all smoke and mirrors.
Oh yeah.
So I like the fact that you at least, whatever was happening back then, you seem happy. The wedding looked legit. And it seemed like your friends cared about you and the man you were married. They were really dedicated to what was actually happening. And I want to just say, I thought that it was beautiful because it was from a small town. And us as LGBTQ people, we usually do things so extravagantly or so in people's face that it doesn't look kind of real because of, sometimes we can over exaggerate. I mean,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh. So, it was nice talking to you, Gia. I'm glad you explained a lot to us here today. I know my agent, she's watching, and I know she's laughing too. She's very funny. And but she wanted me to ask these kind of questions because we need to get to the meat of it so that our community doesn't think we're just all drag queens or people that have no lives.
There is so much more to us as a community that is constantly overlooked, that is constantly drowned out by people screaming "Yas, Queen" and death dropping on stages. We are just as vast and just as diverse as any other community.
I know. It's strange how we can sit and we say this, and we've been in the trenches for so many years. I tell people all the time, I've been doing this now, it's now going on 34 years, and I've been all around the world. So when she first approached me about doing this show, I was like, But it was a celebrity that actually pushed me out the gate. He kept saying to me on Twitter, you need to do this. You need to do this. You can do this. And I said, no, I can't do this. That's not what I'm interested in. He said, oh, he said, I see how you write. I see your pictures. I see how you're doing it. You have created a TV show and you don't even know it.
Exactly.
So so when he pushed me out the gate, and then the lady called me from LA and she says, I want you to do this, and we're going to try this and this and this and this. And now things are starting to look up. So I'm doing a little bit better now. So now
I'm definitely a watcher. I've watched several of the shows that you've put out. My favorites are the ones where you're putting on makeup and you're just talking. I love those videos. Those are very fun.
Oh, thank you. Well, now we've stepped it up. We've got a little studio now, so things will look a little bit more, I'll be able to talk more instead of worrying about the camera, worrying about things. I'll just be able to just do the shows with it. So I want to say thank you so much, Miss Gia. Can you get your name pronounced precisely? Because I can't pronounce it. And she's sitting over there about to fall out.
My name is Gia Bathory.
Oh, Gia Bathory. Okay. Well, it was nice talking to you, Gia Bathory from Kentucky.
From New Orleans, but Kentucky's home now.
Okay, Kentucky home now. So thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I know we didn't get the full details, but we plan on doing a huge invite event, and so maybe you'll be able to come to Toronto when all of the madness is over, and maybe promote your book, and maybe do a little performance or something for us. We'll see how it all pans out as we go back into hopefully getting back to normal. So I just want to say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the show today. Today we had Miss Gia Bathory from originally from New Orleans, but now she resides in Kentucky, and she's a spiritual author and performer, and she does a lot for the LGBT two-spirit pronoun community in a sense of us all, and helping them understand who they are and to just be themselves. So we want to just round out the show tonight to say thank you for season 2 people. You're amazing. And thank you, Gia. And you will see this show in September. But until then, my friends, have a blessed week. Take care of yourselves. And remember, just be fabulous. That's it. Just be fabulous. Thank you, Gia.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to turn it off.
There we go.